Hey guys, it's Mary here. Welcome back. I should really be saying that to myself since I haven't done a blog posting certainly over the summer and it's been a few months. But we are back here in the throngs of fall, and I just wanted to post something since I've gotten a few questions over the last few months about applying and the job search and how to best position oneself in the job market. Just also want to say happy fall, even though here in Hawaii it doesn't really look like fall if you're on the mainland. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to bring up was I've gotten a few questions lately from candidates who either they're underemployed in terms of not having actual work experience, professional work experience to put on a resume, or perhaps the converse situation of that, where a person has tons of experience, but it's been multiple years since they've been in the job market. And they're wanting to re enter and they're wondering, how do I best, put my information together so I can get a job. So, I have a couple of thoughts on that. Before I actually give some tips on it, I do want to say if you fall into either category, you probably want to keep two things in mind. One of the things that comes up is certainly if you've been in the job market in many years before and you're re entering and it's been a while, you want to be realistic about the type of opportunities that might come your way. So, with that, if you left at a very high level, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a realistic situation that you'll have a job of that same level when you're going back, especially if it's been greater than 5 or 6 years that you've been in the workforce. You really need to be realistic and a bit flexible as to what opportunities come your way. You should probably assess it more on the potential and the skills that can acclimate you to a current society in the workforce versus from when you were there. And believe me, the workplace changes even after a few years, after 2 to 3 years. It's constantly changing. So you want to keep that in mind and really assess it more for how this can better position you for the future. Okay. Um, for people who fall into either category, I would say that if you have the ability to work contract employment, you should probably look at that. It's a great way to get experience working in an office, working and understanding dynamics of an office, the pace of offices, seeing if perhaps this might be an environment you'd like to work in. They're really great opportunities. The downside, of course, is that you might not have it for a permanent role, as people like to say, or really long-term employment. But it will give you a good taste of the work environment and what might be expected of you. And that's information that you can put on your resume. So it's always a good thing. So those are two little bits of information I'd like to advise people to consider. When it comes to the actual, what do I write on my resume? What do I focus on if I fall into either of these situations? I always tell candidates to focus on some of the timeless skills that they have, okay, and their accomplishments. And specifically about timeless skills, what does that mean? That means stuff that no matter in whatever job you're in, employers are going to value these skills. They include strong communication, be it writing, be it, in person communication, be it client relation skills, being able to work with customers, write face to face even when people are upset with you and handling it gracefully on behalf of the company. It also means being very detailed and organized. These are skills that are always valued by people. You want to show how you do them, not just that you've done them, but that you've done them really well. Probably in the top 1% of people who've ever done these jobs. You want to give that impression and show the best of the best type of examples. I would also say, a lot of times with the technical skills, we often use that as a throwaway in our resumes or things that we talk about with employers. Since technology has changed quite a bit in the last few years, you really want to think about how technology and like what are you really good at, and expressing that on your resume. So instead of just writing, yeah, I know social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, if you have volunteer experience where you're responsible for managing all social updates for an organization that's 500 people or more on a regular basis, walk through those examples specifically on your resume. Or if you say, yeah, I know a little bit of typing and Word, you really want to get more into detail. Like if you know Word, like what specifically, did you, do complicated mail merges in the past? Have you, did you produce templates? Like you want to share a little more detail than just saying that you know an application or two. Um, we often just glaze over these details, but it's these timeless skills and it's some of these technical skills that really need to have a bit more of a second look. And it's a real opportunity of where we can sell ourselves. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to email, drop a line. I'm a little bit behind in replying to people, but I promise I will have that under control soon. But it's always good to hear from you. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.